This is Mike Mozart. I need to start this video with a disclaimer. I love Play-Doh products. They're probably one of the best products for children in history, especially since they changed their dough to a new formula that doesn't crumble and fall apart. I filmed a review for the Play-Doh Disney Prettiest Princess Castle in my typical fashion that it was fun and I was demonstrating it. But the toy has a lot of problems and it really does not work well. And I've re-edited this film to reflect that. You have an aspiring little princess, buy her this toy. It's $5 cheaper. It's a lot easier to use. The results are wonderful. Your child will not be disappointed in this set. Just not this one. This is Mike Mozart of the Toy Channel and JeepersMedia on YouTube, back again with the amazing Play-Doh Prettiest Princess Castle. And you mold ball gowns for the princesses behind each one of the castle doors. And this is one of the very hottest toys for Christmas 2012. Including Cinderella, Aurora from Sleeping Beauty, and Belle from Beauty and the Beast. Now the Prettiest Princess Castle box shows the princesses and they look kind of big. But if you actually look at them in real life, they're rather tiny. That's a US quarter for scale. Again, smaller means less Play-Doh to play with them, but they're very, very tiny, which I think could be frustrating for a 3-year-old. I want my turn, I want to look beautiful for Beast! The 3 princess doors around the castle remove easily so you can mold the princesses. Opening up these doors is a nightmare because they left nothing. There's no knob, there's no finger indent here or anything to open them. So when the dolls are inside and that Play-Doh is trying to make this stick together, there's nothing to grab onto to pull this door open. Most of the reviewers in the TV commercials show this door opening and there's this magical, beautiful Belle inside with this gown. You notice how the Play-Doh just exactly fits inside? It really isn't easy to mold it that way, I assure you. There are so many crevices here for that Play-Doh to get stuck in, and it does. You need to put Play-Doh here before you put in Belle to mold her. One of the issues is this is for kids 3 and up. They're gonna make a big glob of Play-Doh, and this is actually an appropriate sized glob of Play-Doh. And they're supposed to kind of fit it into this, and the hinges just come right apart when you're doing that too. So now you have your glob of Play-Doh, and you take Belle and push it in. Any Play-Doh down here impedes this base from fitting in, so that's already an issue. And you've got to press her in. You've really got to press her in tight here to make her go into that mold now. Look at all this extra Play-Doh out here. And I put in a piece that looked like it was about the right size. Now you have to take the other half, the hinge came apart, and you have to put enough Play-Doh in this area now to fill up the front part of the skirt. And you don't have to be a rocket scientist to see that there's a million little crevices here everywhere to catch that dough. At least the hinges go back together pretty easy. They kind of snap together. So now we have Belle ready to mold. So you push this shut, like this is how an average person would do it for sure. You have to get these 2 little nubs here to fit into holes to know you've molded it. If you put in too much dough, you can't get it to shut. It's so hard. You have to be like Hercules to shut it and mold it. Ugh. You see the dough is coming out everywhere here. Now there's no place to grab it with your nails to open it. It is here because I put in too much dough so I can get my fingernail in there. Open this thing up, and now there's like dough everywhere. So let's take this Belle figure out now. Now you've got this cleanup mess here. Now we have to pull this dough off on the bottom. They don't give you a knife or anything to get this dough on the front. There's like all these little crevices to catch all the dough. No like 4, 5, 6-year-old's gonna be able to get that dough out. Mommy's gonna have to get out some tweezers or a toothpick. And now our prettiest Disney princesses have beautiful ball gowns, all molded in Play-Doh, ready to decorate. And at the top of the castle under this turret, there's a place for Rapunzel to extrude her hair. Rapunzel's hair actually extrudes through this odd-shaped slot rather than a series of holes. Basically extrudes like a flat, bumpy ribbon. Now watch this. We're actually going to mold the hair that comes out of Rapunzel's tower. You fill it with the gold sparkle compound and you press down on the tower plunger and out comes the hair. It is scaly, bumpy, like a long, ugly plank. I think it's because of this sparkle compound because it really does not extrude nicely through small holes. You can see it intended for you to use the sparkle compound for the hair. You can see it right on the product package, and you can see on the package it's scaly and bumpy and nasty. If they had chosen hair like the Play-Doh Dolly that came out in 1991, they could have extruded that dough through holes, and it would have been beautiful. Then girls could have braided it and had fun with it. You remove the door sides from the Prettiest Princess Castle and it becomes this beautiful gazebo where all the little prettiest princesses can have a ball together with their new gowns. Except of course for Rapunzel, who's stuck up here in her turret. I climbed up this hair and all I get is a sticker?
What's that Rapunzel bitch doing up in my tower? You brought another princess back here? Oh, no, you didn't. You better not be bringing those skink-ass whores back here. You can only be married to one of us at a time. I'm not putting up with any of this shit, bitch. Gotta knock off that back talk early, girls.
And our Disney princesses have a surprise on their bases. I'm revoicing this part over. Yes, there are stampers on the bottom, but remember these dolls, and comparing them to the size of a quarter, these pieces are very small, and these molds are so deep. Look at all the lines around them. We had to push and push and push to try to get these molds to fill so they look like anything. Molding doors for each princess contain a mold for a stained glass window. You actually fill in the colors in the stained glass window with Play-Doh. Belle's stained glass window, Cinderella's stained glass window, and Aurora's stained glass window, all filled with Play-Doh.
Oh, look how beautiful my stained glass door is now.
You're gonna need a toothpick guarantee to clean out the crevices for these stained glass windows though, man. You need toothpicks to clean this out too.
Hey, ow, stop doing that. Ow, ow, it's going right in my...
Look how small these crevices are that a toothpick really is not even adequately small. This is a professional sculpting tool I'm using to try to extract this dough. And I'm using these kits carefully, I assure you. Her newly molded Play-Doh ball gown, these sides just fall right off of this thing. Of course, there's only one prince for 3 princesses. I knew they were all married to the same Prince Charming. There really was room inside these different door molds to allow for the arms and hands to be in a variety of positions. And their hands are all in the stick 'em up you're being rubbed position. Or they're all describing how long something was.
It was this big. Oh yes, at least that big. It was like a baguette.
What are they talking about, Prince? You open up the drawbridge on the back of the castle and inside are 2 different half molds to mold him. Create the prince, they show him molded in solid purple. Maybe they molded him in a different color like pink and they left him in there too long and he couldn't breathe.
Help, let me out, I can't breathe in here.
So that's what your prince looks like in purple. And the molded sample Prince Charming on the back of the box looks rather like an Oscar statuette because they molded him in the Sparkle Dough compound. You know what? I think maybe he even looks like C-3PO. We're not the droids you're looking for. This Play-Doh Prettiest Princess Castle makes such a big deal out of how sparkly and glittery this castle is. If it didn't say it on the box, I would have never noticed it on the castle itself. And the representation of the sparkle glitter finish on this castle is just so over the top. That is absolutely the real same spot shown on that picture. And you have to look really, really, really hard to see anything sparkling there. Because the Prettiest Princess Castle is a permanent snap together, it will never go back into the box. You can still remove the doors, but you cannot remove the back drawbridge door where the prince is made. That's where most of the molds are. And you just can't get your fingers underneath that door to get those things out of the molds or to put the Play-Doh in them properly. How are you supposed to get these out of the molds when they're buried underneath this permanent hinge part? I mean, really. You see, the hinge does not allow your finger to get in there. You'll say, well, you have a big finger. Even a child's finger isn't going to fit in there. You know, the hinge is impeding it too to even come out of the mold. And the stem on that rose is skinnier than a toothpick. How the heck are you going to mold anything with that and get it out of the mold in one piece? Age graded 3 and up. This is a mold from a wonderful Play-Doh product that was called Hairdo Dolly that was made probably around 1990, 1991. These are easy to remove for little fingers, and they're simple and they're nice and deep so you can put a lot of Play-Doh in them and get it out. You need to compare these molds to the Play-Doh Spin and Style where you make Cinderella's gown. This is a wonderful toy compared to the Prettiest Princess Castle, and the molds are large and it's easy to get the Play-Doh out of these. The Play-Doh Prettiest Princess Spin and Style set with this large figure of Cinderella that you actually make the gown out of Play-Doh is so superior in play value and fun compared to the Prettiest Princess Castle, and it doesn't have all those crevices for all the dough to get stuck in, so it's not a cleanup nightmare. And the pieces on this are so tiny and frustrating for a child, where these are very large and very easy to do. I'm filming a review of this set so you can really see how nice this set is compared to the castle. I mean, it's a cute toy and your little princess may love it, but I think that it's a very difficult toy to use, and it's not really a good value compared to all the other Play-Doh sets that are out there.